Hi there, my name's C.E. Withrow, and today I'm going to be going over some of my favorite books that I found on Booktok, mainly this year. So I'm just not going to waste any time with an intro and just dive right into it. If you hear squeaking that I couldn't edit out, it is my border collie Shakespeare. There she is. So the first book that I'm going to be talking about, Message Not Found by Dante Medema. I have a signed one because I did the pre-order campaign. I honestly forgot that I had the real star of the show. Hello, Shakespeare. Hello, Shakespeare. You need to play right now. So this book pulled me out of a 3-month reading slump. I literally did not read a book from January 1st until like almost the end of March. And I got this book in the mail. Again, I forgot I pre-ordered it. So I opened it up, decided to sit down and read it. Could not stop reading it. Read it all in one day. The basic concept is that a girl named Bailey's best friend, Vanessa, tragically passes away in a car accident. Bailey decides to create an AI messaging program and inserts all of Vanessa's old messages from herself and a couple of friends to get like an accurate reading of what it would be like if she was still talking to her, trying to figure out kind of some unsolved questions and stuff from around the time of Vanessa's death. Really good read. It deals a lot with like grief and coming of age kind of a vibe. It's also set in Alaska, which is really cool. The author lives in Alaska, and I've never read a book set in Alaska before. This is what she keeps squeaking every 10 seconds. Honestly, my only exposure to media set in Alaska is The Proposal. Next is Portrait of a Thief by Grace D. Lee. So I read this book, I was coming back from Boston, and I took a train halfway there and then drove the other like half-ish way, and I read this book the entire train ride, and then I got like 3/4 of the way through it, could not physically stop reading, so I literally bought the audiobook so I could finish it. The basic concept of this book is a group of Chinese American college students are hired to steal back stolen Chinese art from different museums around the world. So it's got like heist novels, it's got multiple point of views, there's queer characters, there's like family dynamics, it's got it all. Honestly, this book is amazing, and I really need to reread it. Next up is The Agathas by Kathleen Glasgow and Liz Lawson. They did a kind of like dueling POV thing where each of them, I believe, wrote from one of the characters' point of views, so it helps to give like really distinct voices and writing style to the two main characters in this, Iris and Alice. And the basic concept is that Alice, one of the main characters, is obsessed with Agatha Christie, hence the name, and her best friend, kind of ex-best friend, goes missing and then turns up dead. She decides that she's going to do more of an investigation because there's some corruption happening with the police force where they're not really doing the investigation justice, and she pairs up with a girl named Iris that she's not really friends with, but the girl really wants to get out of town, and there's reward money being offered. Lots of twists and turns, high school setting in a like coastal town, very good little mystery. Next up, my last physical book that I've got here right now is The Honeys by Ryan Lasala. I just finished this like last week, and I literally have not stopped talking about it. The only reason I still have it in my possession is because of this video. Otherwise, I already have like a friend that I'm like, I'm going to force you to read this so that I can talk about it. It did take me like a week to read, but I'm like working full time and also editing my book right now, so that is very speedy for me. So this is a queer YA horror thriller novel, and the basic concept of it is that the main character, Mars, is a genderqueer teenager, and their twin sister Caroline dies in the first chapter. It's really weird, confusing, jarring first chapter with the way that she dies. Honestly, I feel like it was one of the more jarring parts of the book, is like right off the bat. And Caroline had been spending every summer at this like prestigious sleepaway camp for rich people, because Mars and Caroline are the children of a senator, so she can like afford to send them to, you know, fancy camp. Mars stopped going when they were in like middle school because of a undisclosed event, but decides to go back after Caroline's death and kind of take her place at the camp because they want to find out what happened to their twin sister that made the crazy death happen in chapter 1. They go out to the camp, it's twisty, it's turny, there's like amazing queer representation. Obviously the main character is genderqueer, which I really have not read a book with a genderqueer main character before, which is really cool to see. It's great. The writing is incredible. Like, Ryan Lasala is amazing. The descriptions of the camp and just everything is amazing. I wrote a blog post about it because I have a lot of opinions. There are spoilers in it, but I have a spoiler tag if you want to read above it, or if you don't really care about spoilers, you can read all my favorite quotes and stuff from it, because like, this book is amazing. You need to read this book. Please read this book and talk to me about it, because I'm obsessed with it. Next book, I don't have it with me right now because I am loaning it to a friend. Dead End Girls by Wendy Hurd. It's pitched as like a sapphic Thelma and Louise retelling. So the main character, Maud, decides she's gonna fake her own death because she just hates her life blah blah blah. She has good reasons. Anyways, she decides she's gonna fake her death. She's got the whole thing planned out. She's on vacation with her rich stepdad's family, and her step cousin Frankie finds out about it and is like, instead of turning in Maud, Frankie says, I want in. So the two girls fake their deaths together and try to get away with it. Lots of twists and turns, very intense thriller. Another book that I read in like 2 days. I read it while I was camping, so the fact that I read it in a couple of days was like, I literally could not put it down. I kept like sneaking away from like normal camping activities to go read my book. Really amazing writing. Really, I just love the characters, are very engaging. I love a good like heist crime book, as evidenced by Portrait of a Thief. Read it, please. And the next one, I just finished listening to this audiobook this week, If We Were Villains by ML Rio. I've seen this around Booktok pretty much since I got on it because I'm a big Shakespeare fan. It starts with like a prologue that's set in 2007. The rest of the book, the action, everything is set in 1997. Main character Oliver getting released from prison for a crime that you don't get any information on at first. And then flashing back to him telling basically the lead detective from his case has always known that there were lies going on behind the scenes that he didn't know about. He's like, I'm retiring from the force, like I retired, I went private security, blah blah blah. So like, tell me the secrets. I want to know the secrets. Decides to tell him the whole story and goes back in time, and it's a group of theater students who are in their senior year at this like super closed off prestigious conservatory college, and so they only do Shakespeare productions. So there's 7 of them at the start of the year. It's just really good. They talk a lot in Shakespearean verse, which is super interesting. The audiobook is great because a lot of the book is written almost like a script. Instead of dialogue tags, it'll have like the character names and then like their lines basically. So it's really, really interesting to listen to as an audiobook. I do kind of wish they'd gotten different voice actors. They didn't, but the voice actor who voices the book did a very good job differentiating between the different characters' voices and making them all unique, which is always great to listen to. And it's just really beautifully written. It's not as like page turning as some of my other favorites on this list, but I did love listening to it, and I loved all the Shakespeare references and trying to like figure out the littler references in there. It was great. And the last book that I'm going to talk about does not have to do with this ghost of my dogs. Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I'm sure you've seen Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, recommended by her like a million times. I also saw, you know, Daisy Jones 6 on there. It's about to be made into a TV show, so I listened to the audiobook. Amazing. The audiobook, they did get different voice actors for all the different characters because it's written as a sort of faux biography of a rock band from like late 70s, early 80s called Daisy Jones and the Six, and it's just really beautifully written and like just such an ode to like that style of memoir or just of biography, and it's really interesting and really cool to read. If you love just like old rock bands, and like it gave me big like Fleetwood Mac vibes. My camera's about to die, so luckily that was my last one that I want to talk about. I don't know why I held this up to say my next thing. Anyways, thanks for watching. I know it's been a while since I posted on here, but I'm trying to post more now, so keep an eye out for weekly videos. And if you follow me on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, those are the only other social medias I have. Follow me on those. I'll post about any videos that I post. Also, if you subscribe and turn on post notifications, blah, blah, blah. You know the drill. If you read any of these books, or you have read any of these books, please comment. Let me know your thoughts. I love all these books and I just want to talk about them. So that's all I gotta say. Come here, Spirit. You wanna say bye? Say bye-bye. Say bye-bye. She does not care at all.